Available on demand every day on iTunes and the Google Play Store. And around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you?
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Have we started the show every time for 3 weeks?
I know, and I actually didn't know that was going to be the opening cue. It was a bit of a weekend.
For a lot of people, actually.
No chance.
But a surprise weekend. You'll be very surprised. It's Gift Corner. Oscar has a gift. I have a gift. My old pal Dan Town sent some stuff. I think it's Dan Town. At least that's what Josh, the intern, told me.
You know, Mike, when you're alone and life is treating you badly, you can always go.
Nah.
Oh, things would be great when you're
downtown.
I've received a coin, and it looks
Settle
like
down, Mark.
there's a menorah on it.
Hey!
Oh, look at that.
All right, let me see.
No value.
That's from Dantown. Dear Mike, I hope this package finds you in good health. By now, your liver must be giving a sigh of relief on its way to full vim and vigor. In regards to birthday question, I say, F them. It's your show, and you are the grand high potentate of the TMOS kingdom.
Agreed.
Run it as you want, and to hell with the complainers. I love Thursday birthdays myself. On to brass tacks, so to speak. I send gifts for no reason at all, but to let you know you are all appreciated. Well, except Oscar, he's a douche, LOL.
Oh, boo.
Inside, you will find for you an official Stella Artois bar towel.
Great for fighting.
Don't let your dog eat it.
Is it used? It
Hey,
looks used.
thanks for wrapping it, Dan.
All right, there we go.
Oh.
The grocery sack.
The big unveiling.
It's a nice logo.
That is
a
nice.
hand towel, like a golf towel, right?
Hey, you know what?
Must be
Save
nice.
that, Mike.
I like Oscar's tone when he attacks Oscar right away. Now Oscar immediately will hate him for the rest
Well, that
of
thing's
his
probably
life.
covered with DNA.
Probably.
If you could save it, I know Ponyboy needs a bath towel.
Very good. Let me see.
Very
Stella
small, you
Artois bar towel. I figure with all the spilling that goes on down there, you need it. For Buzz is a book on bass uke playing with some new music.
Excellent.
Isn't a
Oh,
bass
that's very
ukulele
exciting.
just a guitar?
No, they have tenor ukulele.
Baritone ukulele,
Uh-huh.
method and song folio.
That's very exciting. Thank you very
Didn't
much.
he used to star in Highway Patrol?
What's this gentleman's name?
Dan Town.
Dan.
Let me see.
Dan gave you a used, chewed on
Yes, it's,
ukulele book.
It's vintage.
Must be
For
nice.
Rob, I have included the personalized Royal Crown label I promised him and a special Bex promo item for the Rob Radio Studio.
Oh,
that's
isn't
very
that
nice.
sweet? That's so kind.
Very
Such a
nice.
giving listener. Here we go.
Well, that's not
That's
it.
not it. No.
No, it's
Hey.
somewhere deep in there. Are there any-
Packaging is important.
Now I
We've
can
talked about
play-
that on the
I-
show.
now I can
here
play
we
the
go.
Wabash
Here we go.
That's to
Cannonball.
Rob.
Nice
Yeah,
throwing,
nice.
Mike. Thank you.
Sorry.
What
Let
else
me
do we
see.
have?
All right.
Hey, look at this. This is a Crown Royal label that says belongs to Rob Spiewak.
Really?
That's pretty cool.
That is nice.
That's
So
going
cool.
on. That's going on this board.
Now I can play La Cucaracha.
What else do we have in
Ooh,
there?
I do like La Cucaracha.
That's
Anything
terrific.
else? Oh, here we go. Yeah, sexy
Do I sound
time.
excited?
You
Sexy
sound
time.
very excited.
Do I sound exasperated?
Can I ask you, when a listener sends a gift, it's always sweet and kind,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And
Sure.
and whether they send it for
Thoughtful.
all of us or just a few of us,
Right.
that's fine as well.
Right.
But the reality is, packaging is everything, correct?
It is.
Presentation.
Yes,
You
yes.
eat with your eyes.
Thank you very much.
That's right.
Are you indicating that Mr. Town perhaps could have wrapped these better?
I think Mr. Town could have taken a little more time in the gift selection.
I
the
don't know,
same
I-
man you're accusing of making all over the towel.
Yes.
I don't know if Oscar thought it was Dan.
But
who
we
made.
have more gifts, gentlemen.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good.
Next item is for Mrs. Ronick's little angel. I wondered what to give him, but
That's
it
funny.
hit me. I guess that's my son he's joking about. I don't know. What could be better for a Jew than a shiny coin?
Yeah, that's actually.
So that is the coin.
Oh, it's for Mark Ronick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark Ron.
It is
Because,
for
you know,
Mark.
He wasn't making a joke about Mark being the father of my child.
No.
No,
He's referring to the way that
Little Angel, his
Yeah,
mom.
he's the
calls him
angel.
that, Yeah.
What could be better for joy than a what could be better for a Jew than a shiny
Isn't that
coin?
sweet?
That is nice.
This one is especially good because it's from Israel. Hopefully, it will inspire him to sell more Jack Cassidy T-shirts. Finally, we come to Oscar.
Yes.
I enclosed
Boo.
a book of word search puzzles for him.
Hey, that's
It's-
excellent for
It's
you.
my hope that these will better his vocabulary of English words as well as give him something to do when he eventually fades out during the show. At
Yeah.
least he will be doing something constructive. So
That's right.
I'll take
that's
that.
yours.
Thank you
There
very
go.
much. Appreciate
nice.
that.
See if you can find there's a whole bunch of letters in a grid. See if you can find the
Oh.
phrase Chinese gang rape.
You undersold it. This is
Really?
jumbo world search.
So you like that?
word search?
Word search.
Damn it!
Already there's trouble.
There we go. Volume 7. It's harder than Volume 6.
All right, so let me see. At least we'll be doing something. Thanks for everything you do, and may all you keep finding success in every step you take, except Oscar. Just kidding, Oscar.
Just kidding.
He gave Oscar a present. He likes
JK.
Oscar.
That's very sweet.
Mike, if you guys end up coming up all this way this summer, or end up at Marcus's house, oh dear.
Hey, Mike, I was
Stop
wondering.
on by.
Hey, do you want to come by my house?
Isn't Marcus from Vermont?
Yeah, the Green Mountain
Well, it
Studios.
says this guy's from like upstate New York.
Hey, I was wondering, Mike.
Close enough.
In the neighborhood.
Welcome to Americast. Have you ever stayed at someone's house?
He says I'm an hour on the other side of the lake from Marcus. Jesus,
God, does that sound like a horror movie?
strange world up
The
there.
other side of the lake.
Has
tell
you-
Carla-
Has anyone seen my hockey mask?
Tell Carla I said congrats, and looks like I picked the right blanket colors. All right, I think she got your blanket, Dan, but I'm not sure. Your friend, Daniel Town.
Thank you, Daniel.
All right, and Oscar, you have a gift as well?
Yeah, just quickly, I know that actually, I'm going to ask everybody in the room if they were going to receive a gift. Would it be true to say they would either come to this studio here or would come to Rob Spiewak and Associates, right?
It can go to either.
Yeah,
It
either-
oftentimes
either.
goes to my father's business address.
Right. It does. And when that happens, I think whoever really receives the gift, and it's usually Rob, because Mike doesn't really open the packages because of the anthrax
And
scare.
fear.
Right.
What Rob does is you decide,
Especially food.
You decide to open it and decide what we should do with the gift.
The best distribution of
Right,
the
the
gift.
best
yes.
distribution. So the listeners are pretty hip to this,
Yes.
Right.
and
Yes,
they
they are.
know when they're going to send something to the studios that if something will or may be commandeered by a certain someone, that would be Rob Spiewak.
Right.
I would say that's accurate
So a
because
couple-
he's gotten a lot of things
The
at
good stuff.
his address.
Yeah. So I
My
got
father's business address.
his father's business address.
Exactly.
I apologize.
Thank you,
The
Mike.
business
Right.
address.
Not Rob's home.
No, certainly not.
A couple of weeks ago, I
Have
get
you ever found a secret clue in a radio show? Hi, I'm Marcus Serta. Hey, Marcus.
I get a cryptic message from a gentleman who I won't use his last name, but his name is Joe, and he goes, Oscar, I love the way that you guys do the show. I love the fact that Mike O'Mara has his new microphone. You can actually tell the difference. He sounds amazing, nice
Really?
and smooth.
That's great.
He goes, I want you to know that I want you to have the same microphone as Mike O'Mara. So,
Really?
I said, well, that's strange because I'm not really the microphone guy. That would be
Right.
Rob Spiewak.
Right. Normally, it
And
would
I
be
write this back to
microphone.
him as I reach for the microphone now. And I say, well, sir, I was like, that's very kind of you, but I'm not a mic head like Rob Spiewak is. He
Rob
actually
collects
he
microphones.
collects
Yeah,
them.
it's
Right.
well
And he said,
known.
No, you're a different kind of head, Oscar.
And his words
Oh,
to
I
me
sense
said,
a conflict coming up.
and his words to me were, well, look, I don't want Rob Spiewak to have this. I'm not part of the Rob mob.
Right.
So
True enough.
I
Look
need
at the look on Rob's face.
I need an address that I can send this, so I'm sure his grubby hands won't get on.
Is that
it.
one of these microphones?
So I didn't think this was a big deal. I send him my address. Anybody can find my address. It's not a big deal. So he sends over.
Oh, it's an Electro Voice. That's the Electro Voice logo.
He sends over a note that says, to Oscar, who deserves his own big boy mic and not Rob. I love the crew, appreciation and love. Joe.
We have the Rob mob that hates Oscar, like
Right.
Dan Town. We have the
So-
the Oscar mob that hates the Rob
the
mob.
listener
all of
really
us.
hates Rob.
All
and
of
he
us.
sent me another
Beautiful, an RE20.
an
Very
RE20
nice.
for the studio.
Gee,
Very
is it a
nice.
brand new one?
It's not a brand new one.
It's another used
It's
one.
another used one.
It's that DJ Spooge in it.
does.
Now the
Like
question,
mine.
How
Smells
does it
like
smell?
Jackson Weaver.
Right.
which is very kind of him.
Yes.
Though, as I was receiving this package and opening it, I said, Rob's going to be so furious. Now,
This is like when I
You
was.
see, I'm not,
this is
though.
like
You're
when I
not?
got into the
No.
Kentucky Colonels,
That's right.
and Rob was so jealous.
Jealous.
Now, I am jealous of that. This I don't care
You
about.
don't care about.
No,
But-
maybe this will help
You
your
know what
on-air
I-
presentation.
What I
Doubtful. But, I mean, we can, as long as we try every avenue. That's all I want, Oscar.
do you want to try it right now?
I mean, I don't know if it's going to really work with the compression, but we should set it
We
up for
could try
tomorrow.
It's even labeled Oscar's mic.
And then
Oscar's
what's it,
microphone.
it says a better thing on the other side.
What does it say?
La, la, la.
Yeah. That's nice.
And who sent that along?
Our friend Joe from Miami, Florida.
Joe from Miami,
Yes.
Florida. Oh, the same guy that sent these.
Yeah.
Hey, what a good guy Joe is.
Well, wait a minute. But didn't he send you some microphones too? Oh, wait. What was his issue? That Rob took some of the microphones?
So, no, when we initially opened
Didn't Rob take one home?
No. When we
I didn't know.
What happened
I
is
don't pay
Oscar
attention.
accused me of trying to take the mic before I even tried.
Let me do a little playlet. So, the package is being opened.
Shouldn't we start the show?
And this is Rob Spiewak. Oh, an RE20. Oh, well, this isn't going to work here in the studio because we should all have the same mics. I'm just going to
That
take
is
it home and see what happens.
such an untruth. He's rewriting history like a Russian.
But he's making it entertaining. That's all I care about.
Oh, I don't think Dave Mike's kind of like this at all. and then you walked and you're like, what's that? Like, oh my God, let's try this thing.
So is this the bottom line? Is this the guy that's the second one of these microphones that he
Yes.
sent along? I give him a round of
thank
applause.
you.
He's a very
Very
generous
nice
man.
thing.
So do you think that microphone will work for him?
We can certainly try it. He has a voice like mine. Which
What
is
do
why
we do if it doesn't work?
We probably give it to
back.
Buzz.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work with Buzz?
Well, then we give it to
No,
it to Mark.
No, we sell it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know what? You're in defensive crouch because I was setting you up for the straight line. What do we do? Let me see if you get it now. Usually only takes one for you if I
Right.
remind you.
Right.
So the straight line is, and then you can start the show this way.
Right.
So let me go back.
All right.
Right, he's rewinding.
So, Rob, what do we do if the microphone doesn't work for Oscar?
We kill Oscar.
No, we take it home.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
It's a story of a single boy on a lifeboat living with his tiger.
The most important thing is the relationship with the tiger. So the tiger has a lot of meanings to him. It can be a representative of nature.
Pi and Richard Parker really connect because they're alone and they have to survive, so they need each other. Go, Richard Parker. Go. Go on home. I'll leave you alone. I'll respect that. Promise. Go. Come on.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Buzz Burbank, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his Davenport, oh, that's so gay, here's Mike.
Watched it over the weekend.
Richard Parker.
We're talking about the movie Life of Apple Pie. Live from the Cappy Piper Studios, this is the Mike O'Mara Show. We are downloaded worldwide 17.5 million times and powered by Encore Insurance. We're at MikeO'MaraShow.com, 102.9 FM WTNT in Washington, D.C., and the mighty 1630 KCJJ in Iowa. Today is Monday, March 18, 2013, and our show is brought to you by Encore Insurance Services, LLC, the people who bring you this show every single weeknight on 102.9 WTNT, a wonderful partner of the Mike O'Mara Show. Oscar Santana had a great experience with him. You can too. It's very, very easy to get a free life insurance quote. All you have to do is visit smartterm.com or call 866-347-5748. They'll do all the work for you. Encore will compare rates to help you save. Licensing and disclaimer info at smartterm.com. Let them know you appreciate them as much as we do. Encore Insurance Services.
The best.
Who is this gentleman we are to thank for the microphones?
His name is Joe.
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 You're wonderful. And Joe,
Very
we know
nice.
you have access to all that stuff that you're not using anymore. Keep sending it, brother.
Absolutely.
We love it. Didn't he send some other equipment as
Some
well?
phone stuff that we're going to be experimenting with.
We're gonna
That
be
might
playing with that.
Actually might allow us to, with high fidelity, ruin this program.
Yeah.
By taking calls.
We may actually be taking regular phone calls again, although don't count on it.
Yeah, it never really
the,
worked
The way
out.
people listen to this show is, they listen a few days later. Sometimes
Delayed.
some people stream it and watch it when we're taping it.
Right.
People listen at all different times. It frustrates me sometimes because of that, because I'll get an email from somebody who has listened to the show after a week, and I'm not even fresh on the material,
Right,
so
right.
it's not timely. On the program today, we got a lot to talk about today.
It's Monday.
I am a bad Irishman.
You're the best Irishman.
I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell
Your
you.
name starts with O apostrophe.
Let him tell it.
You guys would have laughed at my afternoon yesterday because, not a lot of phone calls, but enough.
Just enough?
Yeah. It was like, I felt like, everybody wanted to have their Mick friend. For like an hour.
You are the token Irishman.
A weird weekend of internet anger. Another performance that I have this coming weekend. The family goes to the Pet Expo. I want to talk about that Ohio rape case because that was in the news. Steubenville,
Yeah.
Ohio. Somebody I like that I'll share with you. A message for the conservatives who wrapped up their CPAC convention. The Rob Spiewak showing his manliness as usual. And I am sick of a battery-powered life. Let me start with the weird weekend of internet anger.
Do you want to real quick, though, just hear Oscar's voice?
Yes.
Because we put the...
Let's hear.
It's just a quick test. It sounds different in my headphones. I don't know if
it
you
sounds
can hear
muddy.
Yeah,
a little bit. What we will do, let's work with it after the show. We'll go through the same hoops we did with Mike. We're going to sound fantastic.
And I think really that microphone is not designed to have your hands around it.
Well,
I think it needs to breathe.
A special
and
tripod.
Now, do me a favor.
There's an adapter in the
Take it
mount.
and like you would grab yourself when you're for many hours a day.
I'm familiar with this.
There,
a little better.
See that improves the fidelity. That's why it's got the long tube like the barrel of a machine gun.
And also, after today, now that we have 2 of them, let's you and I get online and buy the proper mounts for them.
Let's do that
because we'll make them. They'll make them a lot.
But let's
more
see if his works okay. And
we'll make it
we'll
sound just right.
Good. Okay.
Richard Parker.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with I'm a Bad Irishman?
Yeah, please.
Okay. My apologies to Jimmy Cerrito
–
and everybody else at Jimmy's. I was supposed to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and I'm here to tell you that St. Patrick's Day Sunday was not celebrated by anyone in the O'Mara household.
Really?
No.
Is that a first?
I think it's a first. I know that one year I went to a baseball game, and I've done different things for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
But I just it was Sunday. I'd had a late Saturday with some visitors that had come to the house, and I was just beat.
Yeah.
And I was going to get to Jimmy's at 3 or 4. I do not like Sunday celebrating.
No, it's tough.
No,
I like Sunday to be my day of rest.
Recharging.
I knew there was a hockey game Sunday evening where Buffalo was playing the Washington Capitals. I worried that if I went out to Jimmy's that the evening would not end. And the worst thing for me now, and I think I'm finally maturing.
You're learning?
I'm maturing as a man that I just did not.
We're doomed.
I did not want to be starting this week of shows with recovering from St. Patrick's Day and staying out late.
I wish you
would
have told me.
Why?
Because
you did.
I had the same conversation. I was out with Tomo and a bunch of his friends.
But yesterday, Mike, he was Todd O'More.
Todd O'More.
Yes,
and
he has a new app, Green Noise.
Your lady's name is Shannon.
Yeah,
so,
but she was on a plane. She's in Fort Worth right now.
Okay.
I said, Todd, I have to go home. I had 2 drinks.
Right.
And I stopped drinking. And he said, why? I said, because Mike's going to get hammered today. Would be yesterday.
Right.
St. Patrick's Day. Right. And he's going to be in depleted conditions.
Thank you for thinking of that.
And it's going to be Rob and I's job to carry the show.
That's good.
So I use proper grammar.
We all prop each other up. I use proper grammar.
And I said, so I have to be on my A game tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. He said, no. You can just go hang out for another drink or 2. I paid the cover charge. I was in this. Someone was singing.
Did you go to an actual Irish place?
Oh, yeah, we were there. We were in the middle.
Was it packed?
Yes, people just drunk.
So
all
there
day.
are people banged up all over our listening audience.
And after my second drink, it was time to leave. I couldn't do it.
What were you drinking?
I give you applause for that.
No, it's horrible. I wish I would have called you and seen what you were doing.
A ridiculously bad day to have St. Patrick's Day.
Sunday.
You can't pick a word. Well, the worst day would be Monday.
Really, not Wednesday?
Wednesday was bad, but I mean, so when do we get it next year? Does anybody find out what it is?
It should be Monday.
It should be Monday.
Because we're not alcoholics. And we want to know 52 weeks in advance. When
and this is another thing that needs to be moved to Friday night, Saturday, whatever, whether it's the time change, whether it's the Super Bowl or St. Patrick's Day, it needs to be on a Saturday.
It's not going to be Monday next year.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be Monday, March 17th. Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is this.
So does that mean we have to wait 7 years before it's on a Saturday?
Well, the leap year might throw that off.
Yeah.
The leap year
Friday would be just as good.
Okay, yeah, Friday's
as a former restaurateur.
Thursday works for me.
You can celebrate it at any point in your life.
At a 4-show
Well,
week.
you had a lot of people probably that were celebrating Saturday night. That was probably you have St. Patrick's Day parades here in Manassas, and they celebrate it after the parade, which was a week earlier. Mm-hmm. But I'm a big believer. I set the 17th, March 17th, is the day that I celebrated, and I just when it was Sunday, I was like, I don't know, but I really was planning on going over to Jimmy's 3 or 4 o'clock.
That's
in the
what you
afternoon.
said on Friday,
and then Jimmy sent me a text on Saturday night, and I love going to Jimmy's and I love doing stuff.
It's a great place,
and he sent me a text that said, and this falls into the whole thing where I just got tired of being the token. Yeah, I really did, and Jimmy's like, maybe you could do an old Irish toast. You'll do the official Jimmy's Irish toast. And I was fine with doing that, but I wasn't fine with doing it. I was just kind of sitting there.
Maybe you could be here at 4 and wear your green tuxedo.
I just felt like crap on Sunday. I was tired, and I just couldn't get. You have those Sundays where you don't have to get going, and you don't want to get going, and if you don't really have to get going, you don't want to get going.
Mike, to save you the effort of going to Jimmy's, we actually had our hidden microphones there. So if you want to know what you missed at Jimmy's,
I'd love to hear a little.
We have it here. I think this is actually Jimmy talking.
Okay.
The moment I heard you were in trouble, I swore I'd take you out of it. And if you're the fine, decent man that I think you are...
Is that Darby O'Gill?
It is. I'm sorry, that's not the... This is Jimmy right here.
I've a good mind to break your back! I thought we were friends. You made a laughing stock of me in front of my own people.
Oh, that's what he's talking to the King Leprechaun.
He's Italian.
Did anyone else celebrate?
Did you celebrate?
I did.
Buzz, actually, you went to Jimmy.
In a Sunday kind of way, yeah.
What time did you get there?
Yesterday afternoon, about 4. So I was there at the early part of the evening, 4 until 6:30, I think.
Whoa, for you?
That's a long time.
That's a record for Buzz. 2.5 hours.
It was a subdued celebration. Maybe it wasn't as packed, and I think there are lots of reasons for that. One, it was a Sunday.
Right.
Two, I think a lot of people
have any music?
Done their celebrating on. Yeah, a little bit of music, a little performers, Irish performers.
They had some Irish music.
Yeah, some singing. Yeah, we heard "Oh Danny Boy."
Danny Boy.
We heard that. Absolutely.
You heard that?
Yes, yeah. And then I got up and did a couple of limericks and things that I had written for the occasion.
He was drinking.
Concluding with an Irish. Yeah, I had a couple of martinis and concluded with an Irish toast of my own making.
Really?
At the end.
Would you like to share the Irish toast?
It's very simple, short and sweet. May you be halfway to heaven before the Lord knows you're still drunk.
Very nice. You modified the existing toast,
the old
which
classic.
is clever and fun.
Yeah.
God, I'm so glad I didn't go.
That sounds like it was great.
But you know what? I ran into a surprising number of our listeners
Barb
there
and Chuck Moody?
who were very... No, I didn't see the Moodies.
Really? I would think Barb and Chuck would be there
If they were there, they kept themselves hidden.
They stayed up. They stayed upstairs in their apartment.
You know, Mike. You know how Chuck
That's
gets.
located above the bar.
You know how Chuck gets if he doesn't get his corned beef.
That's right. He's frustrated.
But poor
Barb
Jimmy,
always cooks it.
it's always something. There was a huge power outage in Herndon yesterday.
Oh, no.
And I couldn't even get into the parking lot when I first arrived because of all the Dominion, Virginia power trucks parked outside working on the problem.
But Jimmy Verizon Center had a problem yesterday.
Jimmy was running on generator power yesterday during St. Patrick's Day. Very important. Everybody came to work yesterday morning and said, no electricity. What are we going to do? So they fired up the generator.
He calls it the Jimmerator.
That's right.
The Jimmerator.
So you got a lot of guff from your friends.
I didn't get guff, but it just... once I texted Jimmy, I said, that's it. I'm done. Gonna relax, gonna chill out, gonna go watch the hockey game on my easy chair.
Did you feel ill-used by the fact that you were
First of all, a buddy of mine calls. And it's like, where are you? Mm-hmm. And I see the buddy.
Oh, yeah.
And I look at my phone, and I'm not going to answer it because it's just like, and then the message is, hey, Irish. That literally was, that was really,
that's what did
hey,
it.
Irish. And I'm like, okay. And would Jimmy do the Irish toast? And I had an Irish bar for a long time where St. Patrick's Day was a huge day for me.
Of course it is.
And
started at 6 a.m. for you.
I don't have to do it anymore. And it's like, so that's cool with me. I don't have to be in the St. Patrick's Day parade. I don't have to. And it's Sunday, and I didn't feel like it. So the first one comes through, and I'm like, oh, man. And, okay. And then the message is, coming over, coming to your back door, coming over. And I'm like, oh, no. And it just was frustrating to me.
I understand.
And he did come over, and we hid.
Oh, no.
And we hid. I hope he's not listening.
Your friends are saying,
but we hid.
Your friends are saying it's just not St. Patrick's Day without you
but
because they're so used to having
my friends are saying, hey, who's the only Irish Mick that I know that I'm going to bring out? I'm going to bring out Patio Leprechaun, and we're going to go out and celebrate.
Someone called a harp.
So right as this is happening,
you hid like children.
I didn't want to deal with anybody. I was done.
Just
I
tell
tried
the
to
man
communicate.
I'm not going out.
I didn't answer the phone, and then the message was left. And before I could even respond,
they were here.
I just didn't want to. There are times in my life that I don't want to deal with dick.
Don't want to deal.
It's Sunday. I
it.
do this every day, and I don't want to. I think I'm gregarious and I'm social, and
You're
I like
fun.
to do that. But I'm private. But I really am kind of private, and it's like, and we had company over from the night before.
So you're already hungover.
That showed up, and
the drop-in,
and I was charming and nice, and I was fine,
of course.
And then the next day, it's like, okay, enough. And then so this guy, I'm just getting done with the message, and the phone rings. It's my 92-year-old mother. Top of the morning to you. I said, Mom, it's the afternoon. She goes, how are you doing? I say, okay, yeah. And I'm really trying to happy St. Patrick's Day. And she tells me about the brunch at the home, and so, it's like they have their St. Patrick's. She said, I've had a couple of Bloody Marys. Like,
no.
What are you doing today?
You got the drunk dial from your mom.
I said, what are you doing today? Well, I'm not doing anything, Mom. Oh, well, it's a great day. And so I chat with her. Mm-hmm. As I'm chatting with her, jerky, I get a post, where are you?
Yeah.
And it's just like, and finally I'm just going, enough. And it was only really a total of 3 phone calls and the Jimmy thing. But then I was like, and just at some point I just was going, leave me alone.
When you got the call from when the person knocked at the door, and
it's great to have friends. I should say that I value my friends. I love being with people. When I want to celebrate and go out and party, I love having a lot of options and stuff, and it's delightful and it's fun. But this kind of behavior is very different for me, and I believe I'm becoming a hermit.
When the person came and knocked on the door or rang the bell and you hid, was it done in a good way, or was it the kind of thing when they rang the doorbell, then the lights went off?
No, it was they rang the doorbell. The dogs go bat-ass because that little Chihuahua a-hole that I have, but it was laughter.
You're just lucky you don't have an Irish setter.
We were laughing at ourselves because we were up there, and then the back door, dogs go crazy. I'm like, okay. Then I hear front door, ding dong, and I'm like, oh my God.
Wait.
I mean, really?
Did you guys go in the panic room?
No, we went upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lights off, all the curtains drawn, upstairs, in the hallway, my mother-in-law, my wife, and I, and they're laughing. And they're laughing, and I'm just
they're laughing at you.
No, they're laughing. No, this was not my call. Once I gave them the word that we're not, everybody had the company over on Saturday night.
They were all in.
Time to hide.
And Saturday night, I wasn't planning on going out. And then it was like they arrived, and these are Carla's friends and relatives, and they came over, and I finished watching a movie with my daughter, Life of Pi. Watched it again.
Richard Parker.
And then I went out and socialized with them. So I was done. I didn't want to socialize that night, but I did. I was polite, and everything was fine.
They used your one chip, Mike.
It's just sometimes you want to have fun with people, and sometimes you don't.
Right.
And I'm glad that Jimmy had a good day, and happy effing St. Patrick's Day. See you next year. On Monday, though, it's going to be worse on Monday.
Before the show is
over, unless we make it a 3-day weekend.
Can you do me a favor? Can you do an Irish toast?
May the road rise up to greet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine bright upon your face. And may God hold you in the palm of his hand.
That's very nice.
I probably screwed that up, but that's
that
my
very nice.
Beautiful.
I like that.
Now lick it. We'll be right back.
Pretty little thing living like the count called Mama. I'm sure hard to hell and I yes around.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. This segment is brought to you by Vistaprint.com.
The best.
Vistaprint.com has an amazing deal right now, and I'm so glad that they are continuing that into 2013. They're 250 top-quality business cards for just $10 and free shipping when you use our code TMOS. And I mentioned this before. Even if you're not serious about getting business cards, check them out. They might change your mind. Go to Vistaprint.com and check out the thousands of designs they have. It is so easy. If I can do it, if I can create my own business card, which I did, which I still use, and this is my special super private business card that I hand out to people. I've handed out 2 of them because I put my regular number and my regular email.
It's not that. It's just that you never go out, so you have no opportunity to hand them out.
And on St. Patrick's Day, I'm not handing it out to anybody.
No.
But it's Vistaprint. They're phenomenal. They've got thousands of designs that you can do this, and you can use this program. Anybody can do it on your computer. It's Vistaprint.com. That's great in and of itself, but the really great deal is when you realize 250 of these cards for $10. They're just
you can do it goofy.
There are not opportunities like that that exist on a daily basis.
Just a couple of cents.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. Remember, 250 top quality cards, free shipping for just $10. Go to Vistaprint.com and remember to enter our code. That's TMOS. When you do that, you give us the credit.
Right.
You heard about it on the Mike O'Mara Show, and we thank you in advance for supporting Vistaprint.com. Now, back to the show. A weird weekend of internet anger and confusion and
disarray.
Yeah, I think what it was for me was that at the end of the weekend there was a little problem with some family communication about baby gifts and such. That all got worked out. Good. Thank God. I will not go into detail because otherwise I will be ostracized from my own family.
Don't want that.
But at the very end of the weekend, after all was said and done, I received a correspondence on Facebook from a person who is not my friend, an individual named Matt Ryan.
Okay.
And I am here to say that Matt Ryan got it all from me.
Wow.
Ooh.
I was just not having any.
About
and
what time did this begin?
when I read it,
gauge it.
when I read it was late last night.
Okay.
It was late last night, and
so you'd already had a day.
we'll play. We will actually play a little game here.
I love
Oh,
games.
wow.
Yeah.
Now, when I respond to this guy,
Monday Mania.
the second time, when I respond, I will ask you all to identify when the naked cruelty really comes in.
All right.
Do we ring in by saying
Yes.
our names?
I will say that after the first one, and after I sent him my curt response, and I got another response, then I went to his page.
Yeah.
Because when people are really pissing me off, I want to find out a little
know
more
about
about
them.
them.
Sure, same
As
here.
we all do on
Oh,
Facebook.
Yes.
Getting to know all about
It starts
you.
out with a gentleman who heard something he didn't like on the show and decided to make some assumptions about me.
Was it Oscar?
No.
Because I just assumed.
But it speaks
Best
to,
assumption.
occasionally I like to share with you my little skirmishes
Yes. Yeah.
online.
Yes.
And this was, as you know, I'd had me a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was ready to just relax. And really, this correspondence screwed up my watching of The Good Wife.
Oh, no.
Dare you?
I love that
So this
show.
gentleman
Boo.
Matt writes to me, you have to stop saying, now that those first
Yeah.
words.
It's a bad start.
You have to stop saying those first 5 words.
Right.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't have to stop
He doesn't
saying. You
have
guys
to
know.
do anything.
Is it have to or have to?
All right. So he says, you have to stop saying, if you don't ride in the rain, you don't ride. Well, first of all, that is an expression that was passed along to me because it's a common expression
It's a quote.
that is used in biker circles.
Right.
That, hey, if you don't get wet and you get out there and you keep your bike in the garage only for sunny days, you're not really getting out there and riding.
Sure, not a true
It's a
biker.
throwaway. I've said that a couple of times. It's a lighthearted
It don't mean
throwaway. I really don't care what you ride in.
And
Like-
also, it's symbolic. It
Right.
doesn't. It's
Yeah.
not just about rain.
Like
Not
rubbing
literal.
is racing.
It's not.
Right.
It's not literal.
Then he writes, but I want to write so much, comma, but to sum it up, ... Well, I think a colon works there.
Yeah,
if
sure.
you're going to do
Yeah,
that.
it's
And then he goes into the 1, 2, 3, 4. So he
Oh, he made a list?
He puts a list with numbers in front of it
Nice.
to create the illusion that this dip S is somehow organized. The first one, you are going to influence an inexperienced rider to go out in the rain when they are not prepared and possibly kill themselves.
Mike, what are you thinking?
Kill themselves.
Kill themself.
THEMSELF.
Smart fella.
It's themselves, idiot. Okay? That's why I didn't go into great detail in responding to you, because I wanted to critique. There were so many
Step by
holes
step.
in your ability to express yourself that I wanted to do it here.
Yeah.
And not online, because I couldn't do it online.
You've
Now,
endangered the listener.
the point is, you're going to go out, you're going to influence an inexperienced rider. I am here to tell you, my friend, that I took a motorcycle safety training course. Buzz did as well. I support Motorcycle
Me too.
MRC,
Oscar.
John Harris and our good friends at MRC who train people to ride bikes. The bottom line is, you may be out on a sunny day and a storm comes up, and if you're out there, you should be trained to ride in all conditions.
Right.
Because that is the safe thing to do. So your premise that I'm going to influence an inexperienced rider to go out in the rain, I'm not urging an inexperienced rider to go out without the training to deal with all conditions.
Right.
Even if you don't have experience, you should go out. So that's the point about that. So you're wrong on the first one.
All right.
Then we go into list like item number 2, like he's going to make a statement, but
Number
he asks
2.
a question, which is another mistake as far as his organization. He
I
says,
love the fact that he's numbered, but they don't have anything to do with each other.
2, do you make fun of a rider wanting to wear a full face helmet on a cruiser? I don't remember. Did I?
No,
I have
you
no
never-
idea
you
whether I
never
have. It's like mocking a person for wearing a seatbelt, or at least wanting to feel more safe.
Well, I know, Mike. You always
That's
make
number 2.
He's
That's-
objecting to something that never happened.
I don't
but I'm
remember you
confused
saying
at
that.
this
But
point.
you always
right.
make fun of me and my seatbelt wearing.
Number 3, decent bikers are supposed to be accepting of everyone, not excluding people for the brand of bike they ride or the conditions they ride
Oh,
in.
he rides a rice burner.
But I don't know what he rides.
Right, well,
but I know
fair
that I've
guess.
had many charity rides for
Right.
myself where everybody is welcome, and I have
Always.
said that on this program
Right, yep.
that you ride any bike. I don't care what you come in, whether
That's right.
whether it's a crotch rocket, whether it's a Harley, whether it's a Honda, a Suzuki, a Yamaha, and I say that on this program.
You've always said
I've
that.
said that. So
Every
you're
time.
wrong on that, you hump. And I'm getting more pissed off as I make. And then
Understandable.
number 4, bullying and teasing has no place in riding motorcycles. Otherwise, somebody is going to die.
Tell that to the Hells Angels.
That's it. That's his message to me. So
because you're America's favorite bully? I mean, why?
So I sit back. I don't know.
You guys
but
are
I'm
nice.
feeling like, first of all, the way he's expressed himself is inadequate, and my only response.
Yes.
And look, as I tell him later in the exchange. Normally, I don't get a lot of these,
right?
And I certainly don't respond to most of them,
right?
Because it's just not. You don't want to engage.
It's a waste of energy, right?
But at the end of the weekend, where everybody wanted me to be Darby O'Gill,
well,
and and it was the end of St. Patrick's Day, and we'd had unexpected company and everything. I'd had me a weekend.
Sure.
So I wrote one simple sentence to him. I said, "Your ignorance is only exceeded by your inability to express it."
That's great. Nice.
Nicely put. That's a good.
Yes, harsh. Yes, but I was to the
harsh.
point. But I did not at that point block him. He is not a friend of mine on Facebook.
Right.
But I did not block him because at this point I'm feeling a tad pugnacious.
Yeah,
I wanted a little bit of a
It was your way of saying you're in no mood. That's a great quote.
And I'm sure he probably was very upset with you as soon as he looked up the word ignorance.
So this dumb guy, is trying to express himself in a coherent way, but he's missing. Now, so he writes back to me, "I accept your response to be that you are drunk tonight. Amateur night." Amateur night is a word I use.
Yes,
it's a term
he's quoting you.
So he's quoting me to attack
you.
I accept your response to be that you are drunk tonight. Amateur night. I hope you give it thought later.
Maybe
I am more
hammered.
pissed off.
Oh, he absolutely
sounds like it.
Perhaps
It does.
he's a little hammered, but at this point, and then he follows up with one. And funny, you should use ignorance.
Oh,
Without a period, in quotation
well,
marks.
now I understand.
It's not funny at all.
completely.
Doesn't it feel
get
like
it.
you're talking to just a brick wall at this
Yeah,
point?
that's what it is.
But I'm pissed.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you should be.
I'm sometimes you get to a point. You know how this
He
is.
caught you on the
Oscar.
wrong time, wrong day.
You just don't want to take it. You want to give a little bit back. So now the game will be, as I read this next response to him, when the real naked, and I remember I checked this guy's bio.
Yes.
When please all exclaim, yeah! When the real naked cruelty comes in.
All right.
All right. I write, you do not know me. You do not know my record with motorcycle safety training, and you have made assumptions about my positions and attitudes about bikers from comments made on my radio program. Unfortunately, I did not celebrate the holiday today, so your other assumption is also wrong. I did not invite your message and found it lacking coherence and organization. You sound like a very angry and jealous person, but those are only my assumptions about you. I rarely get messages like yours and hardly ever respond, but someone needs to let Matt Ryan know that if he is going to challenge people, he ought to know their real positions. You listen to my radio program, and until now, I did not know you existed. I have enjoyed this exchange only because I occasionally challenge people who don't get the joke like you. Perhaps if you listened a bit more... I'm giving it away. Perhaps if you listened a bit more and opined a bit less, you would have achieved more than a community college.
Bingo! Yeah.
Look at Oscar shaking.
That's where you lost.
I know.
I think that's where he wins.
I know.
That's
I know. I'm guilty. I was pissed off.
I think that was well played, Mike.
I will now block you, and my colleagues will soon unfriend you and block you as well.
Yeah, we did.
The great thing about a-holes on Facebook is I can edit them. So long, douchebag.
Nicely
That
done.
was it, ladies and
like
gentlemen.
that, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that was it.
Everything was okay until you went there.
I couldn't help myself. I just couldn't help myself.
You're right,
He
but
thinks
this guy
he's
earned
so.
it.
No, and
he
I tell you
thinks he's so smart and
Yeah,
he's
but
so
you know
dumb.
this.
No,
This is
it's
the-
okay. It's
this
okay
the-
if he put that information out there. He put that information on his page. You're free to use it. And
This
you know
is
what?
so-
It's true.
It's so hard, though, I admire your
I
passion.
value anybody that pursues their education, be it community college or not. That was simply anger, and I apologize even to that gentleman if he happens to be listening. I apologize for slamming him, but he was what angered me was not just that he had an issue with what I said, but his inability to express.
Oh, and he
it.
was just wrong.
Yeah,
And he was
just
wrong
on every
and made
level.
false assumptions. And I don't suffer guys like
Right.
that.
Do
No,
you,
you shouldn't.
see, though, and you know this,
Yes.
that when you decide to spar with these guys, that you empower them?
I know, but I don't. I empower them to a point.
don't know.
Here, I think there's a part of me that says the best thing I can do is give him that last little dig and then immediately block him because I'm done. I'm not having any
But
more.
what about
He doesn't
this?
get to respond, and that makes
Look,
him
there are
crazy.
times that I
Yes.
want to do the same thing you have done.
You've done it.
No. I've only blocked one person in my entire Facebook career.
and you know what?
That's it.
It's me. money.
No. And I blocked them, and I've never written to them. I've never said anything. I've never done anything. I've blocked them.
Shut it down.
And I wanted to write back to them. But as I start writing back to them, and I've done this probably for at least 30, 40 people, started writing back. And I said, no. Because if I write to them, I'm empowering them.
Yes.
And I move forward with my life. That's it.
That's true. I heard that little laugh.
I know.
Now you have
a
a better. I mean, look, your passion makes you who you are.
Right.
But in my eyes, when you went to that third email, I mean, you lose all hand.
Yeah, it was actually my second.
Okay.
So you made the wrong assumption too. We got to take a break. We'll come back with more on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Go to Grace.
Yeah, only 2. He only got 2.
You're fine. You're absolutely fine. And you know what? You empower him.
But this is a guy that's a hump, and he needs to be called on the carpet.
And you know what? There's 2 ways you empower people. People try to empower themselves. The stupid person empowers themselves by writing a drunken list to you. That he'd already empowered himself.
I should also point out,
he felt he had access to you.
Not only have I done this occasionally, but I've also had many, many exchanges with people where we have a give and take, where we might have different opinions as well. And if it's well thought out and it's respectful and they want to do that, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but you've never written, "Oh, I see you have a great education. We should talk a little more."
No, but the fact is,
you write that to me.
I don't like people that think they're smarter than they are
or pretend to
be. Really, and so he immediately was playing in the wrong arena for me. I mean, he was he was making assumptions and
he tried to take a superior position, and he had nothing to back it up with.
Yeah, I mean, he was making assumptions about me. I believe in motorcycle safety more than anybody else. I've said to people personally my whole life of being a motorcycle rider, and I've only been a rider for a short period of time. So my lifetime as a motorcycle rider, I've always said, I use my training. I use what has been, what was taught to me before I even got on a bike that I own myself, because it is that helpful. And I value my friends, John Murphy and John Harris and Steve Shannon. These are people that are dedicated motorcycle safety people. And you infer from me that I'm saying you don't ride in the rain, you don't ride. That's an expression that's used. If you go out on a motorcycle and you're, first of all, rain can affect the conditions like they can with a car.
Yeah, sure.
But if you go out there and you're riding and you get caught in a storm, you better be prepared. Prepared for it.
We were in a ride a couple of years ago where we pulled off to the side. We were under an overpass for a while until the storm.
But the expression, not knowing that expression is. It's an old expression. Hey, you don't ride in the rain. You don't ride. Remember that. And party har har. It's a joke.
Isn't it almost indicating that it's like an initiation to riding? When you get stuck out in a storm, then you're a true rider at that point when you have to actually deal with those challenges.
You're not in radio until you get fired.
It's true. You're right.
I've heard that.
If you attack one of us, you've attacked all of us. And our response is typically, like if I get an attack that seems unwarranted, then I'll email the rest of the guys and ask them, excuse me, to unfriend. And they usually do. I mean,
you'll throw phlegm all over.
And in this case, it's one of those things where I really hate to unfriend anybody.
Not me.
So I wasn't really sure why you wanted.
Did you say you've only unfriended and blocked one person?
Of my own accord.
Oh, but you
whenever you guys ask me or anybody asks me, I block them.
That is them. That don't you think that, Buzz? That's the only thing that we are. That we're totally all all for one for all.
Of my own accord, I've only done it on my own. That's it. Once.
Really?
Right.
How many times have you been requested to by this group?
I would say at least 7 collectively.
And having heard the story, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it was. So it was just. It was at the end. Now you unfriend liberally
all the time,
right?
All the time.
Let me check your page out.
Facebook friends are like tissues.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Let's do this.
You want me to unfriend someone?
Because Rob,
let's do it.
So excited.
Rob's weekend involved a Facebook post. Now, whenever I have to find one from Friday, which I have to, what a great picture of JLH they put on your website.
Isn't that great? I think that's Tommy Meyerhofer put that up. He used to work.
How do you remember this?
Because he used to work at WJFK. He's a nice kid.
Wow,
nice fella.
So how far back do I have to?
You have to go with Friday. I would imagine you have at least 7 swipes.
So we file this. Rob, do you have any feminine music?
Ooh.
Does he?
Let me just go to my iPod.
This should be interesting.
This killed me.
Do you want old timey feminine or
anything
just
feminine?
I have it. Give me a sec.
This is from the Rob Spiewak Facebook page, which I love it. You know what? I look at all of your pages every morning. And it really helps me sometimes to gather material. I only wish that that Buzz and Oscar could be just half as opinionated as Rob Spiewak.
No.
Someone called Rob Spiewak's Facebook page Facebook spam.
Facebook spam, really?
Someone mentioned
Wow.
that to me.
Yeah.
They said, "Why does he Facebook spam everybody?
Well,
I
they
can't
can-
be friends with him anymore."
They should unfriend me,
that's
or
what I
ask
said.
me.
I
I'll
said,
unfriend them.
I said, "Unfriend him. You don't have to do that."
Okay, here we go. This is just for me, and I hope some of you
Yeah.
will relate to this. Okay? This is from Friday night. Rob apparently was at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, okay, I know what you're going
to
in
do.
Leesburg, Virginia.
Yeah.
And Rob says, watching sports games and burning a gift card. Watching sports games?
Now that was-
I hate this place,
I
he
do hate
says,
that
with
place.
Carrie at Buffalo Wild. Sports games?
Now that's a joke.
Do you mean
That's
watching? It's no, but it's not. It's
Mike, it's a joke.
It sounded like
You're
such a
familiar with
nasty-
them. You occasionally make them on the show.
Oh, he's going
It was
with-
tongue in cheek.
Yeah, but you didn't
No,
clear it up.
I can tell you because here I can give you the
Yeah, it
backstory
was.
on it.
All
One
right.
time I was on. It was when we were out of work. We
Yes.
were between jobs.
Yeah.
And I had a question, and I asked Steve. I said on KCJJ. I said, "Didn't you get in trouble once for having a guy sit in a bar?" Watching the TV and describing a sports game on television, and it was just ill chosen.
Yes.
A game.
Yeah, but what happened is
So what you said that originally?
originally
Yeah.
I did say, but
I misspoke.
someone latched onto it and said Rob Spiewak, not a big fan of athletics, referred to it as a sports game.
Okay, so you know. So
I know.
all right.
So it is tongue
He
in
owns
cheek.
it.
Right.
He owns it.
So you do own it.
I do
I
own it.
got no
There's
holes.
another layer, though.
Well, but
But I
said-
did say it originally.
He said burning a gift card, like somebody twisted his arm to go to B-Dubs.
Well, you don't want it to go to waste.
I wouldn't go there otherwise. I do not like.
so
that.
you
gave
mean-
you that gift card.
So someone has already called you on the carpet for sports games?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, you've taken all my fun away.
Well, no.
But I'm sure that gives you some joy too. 'cause
No.
You've taken the ammo out of my gun today.
But I did not want to go. I was given.
Sports. I thought sport. See, I read sports games and I thought it was brand new.
No,
No,
he
you see,
said
my,
that before.
understand. I'm not quite as bad as you wish. Just nearly.
I like Jimmy though. Jimmy puts on there. I would have redeemed it for you, bro.
I wish I had. I wish I had. What happened is last week.
Can one guy redeem another person's gift card?
if they want to lose money.
It's their choice.
Jimmy would.
Sure.
Jimmy would.
No, Jimmy's a good guy.
We last week, and I'll have actually a tape from something regarding this in the audio vault. Was the elementary school talent show?
Oh, yes.
And their thank you gift for me emceeing was a gift card for Buffalo Wild Wings, and it's right there. It's by the house. We had Robert and Jabril Friday night. I said, "Where do you want to go?" And they said, "Buffalo Wild Wings."
Oh, cool.
So we go in there, and the kids love it because there's trivia. on
How'd you
one
get the gift
screen.
card?
It was a gift.
He just said. You're
for-
not listening.
for
I'm sorry, I'm
emceeing-
looking at my internet.
It was a gift for emceeing the talent show.
Right.
But I really do think that Buffalo Wild Wings is bad
Sports
service,
game.
bad food.
Oh, no, I love the food.
Do you
I
really?
do, yeah.
God, it is garbage. And
Never
that
been
once
there.
again emphasizes your appreciation
It
for
is,
cuisine.
it is a staple of my weekly
How's your stomach?
intake.
Yeah.
Much better. Thank you.
Yeah, I do not like Buffalo Wild Wings, but the kids wanted to go, and we went, and I went, and they're blaring the sports games, and there's lots of basketball sports games,
Sports games.
and I believe there was some other sports games as well. And then Robert said, "Dad, why don't you play trivia and win?" So yeah, I played the
that's
trivia
sweet.
on
Yeah.
the thing, and so that was all right.
All right,
Yeah,
I guess
I
I got to go to
course you
Plan
did.
B then.
Oh, you have Plan B?
Yes, on the webpage.
Go
This
ahead.
is terrible. Buzz and Officer Meg. Buzz asks Officer Meg a question, and she never gets to finish. Oscar is trying to talk about his trip, and it's constant interruptions. Can Shecky let anyone talk or tell a story?
Now, when did you write that?
I did not
He
write
did it.
that. I value you. It just you didn't give me anything for sports games, so I had to go to tier 2. You know, I plan these
Yeah, it was an
shows
audible.
pretty
Yeah,
meticulously.
You're about to see the
today.
third tier walking down my face.
Who wrote that?
This comes from one of the faceless people, so it's Mike D.
Goodbye, Mike D.
Mike D.
I think this is
No, you
on the
can't.
website.
This is on our website,
You
where
can't say
the real
goodbye.
mean. This is where I get slammed all the time.
I
on the
can block
website.
him from our website.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, can you really?
I can.
Oh, well, then I'll ask you to do that for me. A lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike D, I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
And I hope it was worth it.
Can Shecky let anyone talk or tell a story without shtick or endless comments?
Wow.
I'm real close to never renewing my VIP or buying any other bonus.
Well, now we have a
content.
problem.
Now we do have a problem.
Mark's
There's a
concerned.
conflict.
And up to this point, I bought all bonus content. Rob is seriously driving me from my favorite show. Look, we all get this.
We all
crap.
get
we
this.
all get this on this. This is that little forum.
I love
which
that.
I don't like the comments on
No.
our page.
Do you know
at
what?
all. They're
The
not
active
nice. They're
listener,
not kind.
the active listener is the best listener, and I dare say that I make him want to listen just a little more.
That's true.
Thank you,
I
Mike
am
D.
so disappointed with sports games.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I thought that I would be able to have the most fun. So Bridges got it before me?
Yeah, actually, it was a guy named
Sports games.
Craig.
You watch sports or you watch a game. You
But
don't
you
watch sports games.
It was Craig Harleman, the funniest
but let's
man on
speak
Facebook.
to that.
they
You
call
were
him.
you were miserable.
I hated it.
surrounded by athletic competition.
Yes, I was.
You in the
I
real
would have been.
truth of you is you don't just not pay attention to it. You completely. It's time for you to own up to it. You faked it with football. You completely
I can
faked it
follow-
with
I can-
football
I can
because they
follow
asked
a
you to
football-
be because they asked you to be the announcer.
But I
You
can
didn't
follow.
care.
I can follow a football game. I
Right,
know,
but you didn't care.
No, I don't. I just don't care.
So you faked it.
Well, yeah.
Yes, and I called you on that
and
way back
what's,
when.
What's strange about this is, even if you're not a big sports games fan, as Rob would say,
And really, the three of you
Sports
guys,
games enthusiast.
Mark Ronick would be probably the only person that is
Next
really
to you,
a
yeah.
legitimate
Yeah, I'd love
sports
it.
fan.
Look, I'll say this: that on Friday night.
But then you said you went to spring training games when you was that Chad's
I'm-
thing
no,
that he
I know,
wanted to do?
No, I'm a passive fan.
Okay.
I like on Friday night we were at a bar and I was watching the Maryland Duke game. A phenomenal game.
That's something
A
that
phenomenal
Buzz and Rob
game.
would never
But you
do.
see,
do.
he
Right.
only watches it because that's what he does. Because that's what douches do.
What do you
That makes
You
no
don't care.
sense.
No, you don't care about the game at all.
I care if Maryland wins.
Why?
Because I'm a Maryland guy.
You are?
Yes.
Went there?
No, but
No,
I
you-
grew up in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
I grew up in Virginia, so I really hope UVA does well.
Do you
I
care
wanna-
if George Mason does well?
No.
See, I care because I root for George
Oh, I thought,
Mason.
but you're a Maryland guy.
Yeah, but they're not playing each
Can
other.
I
But
take-
it's really
Local
hip
team.
and cool.
Do
to
you
root
care
for the
about
local-
VCU?
Hey,
really.
I'm going to get a bucket of water. Everybody
Okay,
calm down.
VCU just lost. Does he know that?
Yes.
Yeah, now.
Can I take,
VCU lost when they had granted me admission.
can I take this moment
Yes.
to say to our listening audience, you're welcome.
Anyway,
I wanted to say that very briefly. Yeah, so you watched the game on your own. That's
no,
I
he was in
didn't
a
know.
bar and it was on, and he watched it because it's the cool thing to do.
Ask him if he ever watch a game at home.
Do you ever
Just
watch
to-
the game at home?
Absolutely.
Really? I thought you didn't have
100%.
cable.
No, I watch it on ESPN.
Will you be watching the Final Four? I mean,
Absolutely.
You'll be watching.
He
the Final
Absolutely.
watches them online like a douche would do.
No, stop it!
Hey, I pay $220 less than you do a month.
I
Look at
will
that smart man.
Listen, I will say this: that there is no prerequisite for watching sports games.
No.
Buzz, you don't watch sports
Not
at
at
all,
Ever. Not at all. Ever.
And
Never.
so it's the way I was raised with it, and that's why I'm into it.
Right.
And I played sports in school, and so that's what it is. And it's just funny. This falls into the same category as if you like a certain sport and somebody else doesn't. I do not judge. I do not judge one sport over the other. You know, whatever people's entertainment is, that's their call. It's just funny. But picturing you when you get on and you publicly slam it,
Right.
that is the same as me slamming you for not watching it.
Okay, that's
you,
fine.
You
Right.
understand?
That's fine. That's fine.
So it's like sports. All these.
But
It
you know
really
what?
comes across really between the lines. All these idiots.
Well,
Watching, well, no. See,
It's not
That's
just- it's not
because
just-
you don't
no.
get into it.
It's not
somebody,
just that.
Somebody who watches you sitting there for watching Casablanca for the 50th time
We-
might go, "Yeah, well, there he is."
Oh,
We,
well, there
we
I am.
take this stand at great peril. I mean, isn't it difficult for
It is,
you?
it is.
Oh, my God,
Like
you're dying.
in terms of,
As a
terms-
matter
Are
of
you
fact-
okay
no,
over
I'm,
there?
I'm perfectly fine.
don't sound like
it
it.
would
Going to
help.
have every element this show today.
Yeah.
You see, the more I talk, the less it happens. So, don't you do this at some
Well,
peril?
is that a passive aggressive like dig? No. Is that is that Buzz passive aggressive?
I haven't had a chance to warm up yet.
That's passive aggressive.
all
Let
I'm-
me talk more, Mike.
All I'm saying is I haven't had a chance to warm up with.
yeah,
it.
let Shecky talk, Mike.
Taking this stand of not liking sports, haven't you done that at great social peril?
It is
doesn't
not the
it's
easiest
difficult
path
to make
take.
friends.
It's not the easiest path
It's difficult
to
to
take.
converse.
Very true.
Keep jobs.
So now are you two indicating to me that you feel persecuted because of your disdain for sports?
No,
Far from
not
it.
at all.
Unless you made us watch a game here.
I'm saying it's difficult for us to assimilate. We've made it difficult for ourselves.
We
to
have
assimilate.
actually had many promotions with the show that involved hockey and
Right,
football,
right.
and obviously most recently baseball.
Right,
and
right.
you know, it's like, all right, let's lay it all out on
Sure,
the table.
sure.
How miserable? Like in the morning, I will start with Buzz.
Okay.
Really, as far as outside of being in the sunshine, the actual sports element of the day, really, to go to a spring training game. You know, you said you liked it. I believe you
It
were
was fun.
sincere.
Yeah.
It was fun.
But
it was fun
wasn't-
watching the game.
You wouldn't do it on your if you had your own money, your own time. Is that something you'd seek out?
Probably not. No,
Okay.
but I
Would
enjoyed
you,
it
Rob?
immensely.
I will probably this year take Robert to a Nats game just to say that.
Grudgingly.
No, not grudgingly.
I
'Cause
go
will
once
take
a
ju-
year.
I
You
will
like
ta-
wrestling.
Wrestling doesn't count. But
more theater.
I go to one game. I go to one game a year. Just because I like the experience. I enjoy the experience, but I don't follow the sport.
On the far end of this is something I also don't like, and that is the the world of over-analysis of sports, which has really
Let's talk about that.
Which put us out of an afternoon radio gig when the sports station came along.
Yes, it did.
And I believe it's overanalyzed. And God, if I could, there are a couple of things that I look back on. This pop culture show that I love doing so much, where we talk about anything and everything.
Right.
It's so near and dear to my heart.
Of course.
And I just never thought I was capable of A, doing political radio, and B, doing sports every day. I could not come in there every day during football season and have to do 2 hours on the Washington Redskins.
No.
I could, but I would have been
Be
absolutely miserable. And maybe people read between the lines with that. It's frustrating, but it's the same way, when it comes to people's likes and dislikes, it's just funny. And the reason I give you a hard time is when you're slamming the environment of Buffalo Wings. It's so funny.
The whole place
All these guys watching sports.
The whole place is a disaster.
Games.
Overpriced, bad food, bad service, sports games, noise.
All right, I will give you we don't have much time, but let's just
Oscar would love
let's
it.
have a little psychotherapy session, okay? For
Bring
you,
it, okay.
I would like you to give me the Inquisition. I'm going to put it on you so that I'm not attacking you.
We're role playing.
I would like you to ask me 5 questions.
Right.
Come up with 5 questions right here, right now, and ask me why. Because why I like sports so much.
All right.
And where it comes from, because I think maybe you don't understand that.
Maybe I don't.
I think you don't.
What is at the root? What is at the root of your adoration of baseball?
My relationship with my father.
Okay, you see, now may I build this back to me?
Yes, go ahead.
Because as you know, I come from a broken home.
I wish I had the sad, the sad
violin?
music.
Don't you have the violin over there?
I know somewhere.
As you know, Mike, I come from the broken home.
Okay.
And while I have a wonderful relationship, thank you. Please hold your calls. While I have a wonderful relationship with my father now, he moved out when I was but a lad,
right?
And he wasn't.
But
there.
he was in your life.
He was in my life,
right?
But not into an everyday extent where I had sort of a sports influence.
If
on
he
me.
had been in your life on a daily basis, do you believe that would have been different?
He would have tried a lot harder. I think so. I think he would have.
But it's not a lock, is it?
It's not a lock.
It's not
isn't.
a lock
because he likes sports, but he doesn't live and die by them.
Same with my dad.
Yeah.
So I've answered your first question. Let's move on to the
right.
fourth, the next question and 4 more.
Okay. Do you think you're, as we discussed last week, you're athletic? Do you think that added to your love of sports?
No, my love of watching sports and growing up with that contributed to my participation.
You see now,
and also my geography, having a pond in my neighborhood.
Right.
Yes. There was a pool and a pond
where we skated. I had
pond
a pool,
was good for you.
A community pool, and
Right.
so but I mean, I got into it, and I wanted to be in the sports. I wanted to do athletic things. So that came from.
And to come back to
I was
me,
never pushed though. Never pushed.
Right.
I was never pushed. I was allowed to try. I was quite literally a bad runner. I just couldn't do it.
Right.
You couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't do it? You couldn't run?
We used to live next to the school, and I found out at a later date. My parents used to watch me at recess and just say, "Oh,
yeah."
Well, he can't run.
What do you do
like
that's
that.
wrong?
I don't
when
know.
You run?
I don't know. I'm just not good at it.
Kind of an automatic thing. Isn't
Well,
it?
I mean, I can get from point A to point B,
Right.
But also, I lack coordination.
You know, you were a producer of the old Don and Mike show
4 times.
Frank Murphy was a producer of the old Don and Mike show. What is it with radio producers? We made Frank run one time just because it was so fun to watch him and how bad he was.
Some
at
of us
it.
are not good.
What
at it.
happens is we find our way to that position because it is the most sedentary job in the world. There'll be no need to ever run.
All right, you got 3 more.
All right. Did your friends and your colleagues push you towards liking sports?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
My neighborhood, growing up in my neighborhood, everybody played hockey.
You see?
Everybody played hockey on the pond. That's what we would get up in the morning, really, from the first thing in the morning, and I would have to be screamed at from my mom, Mike, you have to come in for dinner. And that was it. I told the story one time at my 30th birthday party that I had to go big potty.
Right.
But I didn't want to
Yes.
leave the game. And finally, by the time I knew, I absolutely had to go up the
committed a
hill
foul.
in my skates. My sister wouldn't let me in the house, and I went in my pants.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was terrible. I
And
loved
he
it.
was called for icing.
I loved
No
hockey.
boys in my
I'm
neighborhood.
not Canadian, but New Englander. You start young,
Right.
And I started at 8 years old, which is really I was far off the pace because I didn't start younger.
Now, with my friends, we didn't do that.
What did you guys do?
I don't know. I don't remember. We never played sports.
There were no boys in my neighborhood.
They danced.
We danced. Did you ever see Billy Elliot?
In the woods?
Yeah.
Billy Elliot. All right. And
what about your school experiences with sports?
School was a big deal. Sports were a huge deal. Well, school, they were a big deal at your school, too, weren't they?
Not for me.
Right.
No, the sport I did,
But
Mike,
if you
was
had
called theater sports.
All right, one last question. This is making me ill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you really see me as a loss?
The sports
you are what you are.
I am as God made me, sir.
You are what you are, Rob. I've enjoyed our association. I will continue to enjoy it. And I will just deal with the fact that you and Buzz have limited my career opportunities.
Mark my words. In a week's time, Rob will come in here with his Rams sweatshirt, VC Rams sweatshirt, his class ring.
His annual pilgrimage to be a fan for the basketball. VCU make the...
They did. They're a fifth
the big
seed.
deal,
They're
the big
the
tournament.
Southern region.
And
Yeah,
Kansas.
they're in the South. They're good to go.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's bracket time.
Fifth
It's
seed.
gonna be
They're
great.
good.
Yeah, so
They're good.
So VCU is actually going to be making it through the NCAAs.
My guarantee of a victory this year, Mike. They're going to win all their sports games.
We will take a break. Come back with more. Actually, Rob's Magic Audio Vault is
It's
next.
all sports stuff.
More Shecky all the time.
What a great Monday. We'll be right back.
Yeah, look out, kid, don't matter what you did. Walk on your tiptoes, don't tie no bows, better stay away from those.
Did I even mention the sponsorship for the last segment?
Vistaprint?
No, I think I got. I'm confused here.
Who have you talked to? Who's next? Who's next?
I believe it's RC Kitchens, but
Yes, it is
the
RC
book is
Kitchens.
messed up.
For Rob, it's RC.
Ah, yes.
okay.
Thank you for sponsoring the Audio Vault.
Okay, come on, Buzz, get it right next time, will you?
All right.
Thank you. Brought to you by RC Kitchens.
Mike, get it right.
Don't remodel. No, I'll show you my book,
All
pal.
right.
Okay, sorry.
Don't remodel your
Take it
kitchen
back.
with cheesy, mass-produced cabinets. We talked about this wonderful guy, Rory Callahan. You owe it to yourself to deal with Rory. You can get a kitchen custom-made by artists using real wood, quality materials, and we'd love you to chat with him like I got a chance to. Rory Callahan is the fellow that runs RC Kitchens, and you will get Mercedes quality at Prius prices. RC Kitchens makes it a point to find out exactly what you want, and they take the frustration out of remodeling. Estimates from RC Kitchens are guaranteed accurate for both the price and the timetable. RC Kitchens serves the D.C. area all the way to the beaches of Delmarva. If you're outside the D.C. area, RC Kitchens might still be able to help you. So we don't know. He's got the limited. He's a local guy.
Right.
Give him
We
a call.
love to have our relationships with local clients here, and I like the way he works. He indicates that so many of these remodeling groups come into your house, they give you an estimate that's not accurate, and more importantly, they give you a timetable that's unrealistic. He will not do this. You will know how long your downtime is going to be and when your project's going to be finished. You owe it to yourself if you want to do anything, no matter what the project is. Contact Rory Callahan and his crew today at rckitchens.com. That's rckitchens.com. It's Audio Vault time.
Thank you, Mike.
Let's open it up. Here he is, Rob Spiewak, Sports Games.
Want to tell, first of all, thank you to Mike O'Mara. I mentioned earlier that we had the elementary school talent show this week. And one thing I like to do is do what I can to make it as fun for the grown-ups as I can, because in 2 hours we packed in, I think, 41 acts. And you're limited to 90 you're limited to 90 seconds.
How many acts?
41.
Wow.
What, for an elementary school?
Because we
talent show?
limit them to 90 seconds or 100 seconds.
Oh my
So
God,
the magic of
I'd
that
have
is
to get me a cocktail.
No, well, the magic of that is, Mike, is when it's great, you get to see it and it's great, and when it's bad, it's only a minute and a half.
Right.
Oh, so it's a minute and a half.
Yeah, so you
Oh,
move
that's-
them through.
that's
You
not
move.
bad.
So we did it. Started at 6. It went
Minute
to
and a half rocks. Now I'm fine with it. Now you scared me for a
It's
second.
probably great for the kids for their own experience to get in front of that
Self-esteem.
crowd.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we pulled the show in like 2 hours and 5 minutes.
What was the best act?
The best act was the closing of the first act. Her name, I forget her first name. Stefkovich was their last name, and she did "I Want You Back" by the Jackson 5.
Oh.
And with dancing and sang a lot like a young Michael Jackson. It rocked.
Really?
It was really good.
And so is it a challenge to condense that into a minute and a half?
I actually worked with a lot of the kids on compressing the music and stuff. And so, yeah, and I mean, some of them went a couple seconds over, some were a couple seconds under, so it worked out okay.
You put a lot of time into your kid's school. That's
But
terrific.
what was really cool is that Mike, I wanted it to have sort of a flavor of a real show, and I
It's
didn't
time
want
you could spend in front of a TV watching a game, right?
That's right, Mike. Exactly right. And I wanted it to sound big. I didn't want to have to introduce myself, so I called Mike last week. I said, "Will you do Booth for the talent show?" And he did. And I just
Booth, incidentally, is for those of you that don't know, is just an announcer job.
It's the announcer that you don't see. And for example, Don Pardo, Booth for Saturday Night Live.
Right.
We've got a great principal. Her name is Dr. Carper, and as far as being
Carper.
a showbiz type, really not her deal.
Well, of course.
So it was so great to have her come out, and we just got a new sound system at the school.
And you let me have fun with it.
Come out to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Balls Bluff Elementary and the 2013 BBES Talent Show. Please make welcome our esteemed principal, Dr. Melinda Carper.
The music.
And
was she embarrassed when she heard it?
Smiled a little uneasy because she wasn't expecting it. I said,
if you're
Dr.
not used to
Carper,
get an intro like that, that's an intro. So it's like, hey, thank you very much. Want to thank the band.
I said, Dr. Carper, all you got to do is just tell me when you're ready to go out, and I'll hit the tape. Okay, and she did, but then not as good as, of course, what I got. So.
And now your host for the evening from MikeO'MaraShow.com, Rob Spiewak.
It's going to get us a lot of listeners at an elementary school.
Mike, 41 acts,
yes,
80 kids, and every one of those kids had 2 parents there.
Okay,
so
right.
yeah, actually not so bad.
I was happy to do it.
And,
no broken homes?
No, my favorite one though was when Mike got a little bored and he brought us to intermission.
There will be a brief intermission at this time. Make sure to check out our silent auction, and the concession stand is, of course, open. We thank you for your support.
This music.
So great. And then, of course,
does anybody, when you're watching, because I know you,
yeah.
are you peeking out to see if anybody in the audience is cracking up at this?
They are. They like it. And
okay.
But the best one was, of course, the ending. Because this is after the final act, and we've given flowers
Do
to
all the
director.
kids come out on the stage?
There's 80 kids on the stage, and this is screaming in the gym. And I gave it a few seconds. I think he'd come in here.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out and supporting the talented kids of Balls Bluff Elementary. Have a great evening and drive safely. So long for now. This is Mike O'Mara speaking.
It sounds so much like
awesome.
something from Television City.
Yeah, and aren't those the most fun things to do, really, as an announcer?
I love doing it.
Yeah.
It was great, and
And
really
they loved it?
Oh, it was great. It was a great show.
80 kids.
Yeah,
God, wow.
they all got medals.
What if your kid goes first, though?
You
if
know
your
what?
kid goes first, I'm like...
But yeah, oh, well, then you leave. You perhaps don't hear the closing because maybe you duck out at halftime.
Time to go. My daughter was either directing or in a play that was in the first act, and I ducked out after that.
Yes.
And I've never been more racked with guilt.
Yeah.
It's like you owe
Sure.
it to the other parents
You
to
do.
stay.
They stay for yours.
I don't know if we just heard this throwaway, but did you hear every kid got medals?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Well, no, it was nice. It was a sponsored
no, it's
talent
not.
show. You
It's
don't
not
think
good.
that's
No,
good?
you pick a winner.
Yeah.
No, there
You pick a
wasn't
winner is
it
what you
wasn't a
did.
contest.
Well, I mean, a talent show. I mean, there's always got to be the best talent show.
I
No, if it's not a
already
contest.
told you the best.
What's that?
There was the
Michael
Jackson 5 girl. I
Jackson.
told
The
her.
Jackson 5
That would have
girl.
been my winner, Mike.
Did she get anything special? Did you single her out in this era of self-esteem?
I'm
for
bringing
children?
her to my home to teach her.
Wow.
No, I'm
Sounds
kidding.
odd.
That didn't
No.
come out right.
But I will tell you this, but if you read between the lines, obviously the MC, yours truly, had his favorites and had the ones he didn't.
What did you
got.
wear? What were you wearing?
I wore a tuxedo, but nothing flashy.
Of course.
Nothing flashy, just simple black.
You're the Uber dad. Does your son? And this is Robert's school, right?
Yes, yeah, Julia's not there anymore.
Is there any embarrassment, or is he filled with great pride and joy?
He has pride. As a matter of fact, I tried to work him really hard to do an act this year, and I was
Right.
going to help him work a
Right.
comedy act. You know, he's a
Wait
funny
a minute.
kid.
He's not in the show.
No. Mm-mm.
This is all
Not
for
yet.
Rob. It's all about Rob.
It is all about me.
All right.
Well, you know what? You don't get those $25 gift cards by sitting on your ass.
All right.
No, but Julia
We'll
was.
pay him with food.
You see, Julia was in the show last year. That's how I got roped in originally.
Oh,
but
I
we
see.
kind of brought back the cast.
I'm going to
So-
thank you. You have brought a lot of joy today.
That's right.
You truly have.
Well,
Oh, my
Mike,
God.
if you can, take a little bit of that joy, send those good feelings out to Iowa.
Okay.
Tone Loc, I hope he's well.
Really?
Yeah.
But for the third time, he has collapsed on stage.
Oh, dear.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry.
It's all that funky Cole
Wonder what that
Medina.
sounded
I
like.
wonder what
Don't
it sounded.
need
Do you
me to
wonder what
laugh.
it sounded like?
Yeah,
I
sure.
do.
All right, this is just a quick one.
Let's do it.
Down
So it
goes
was right
Tony.
away.
You gotta play that again.
It's just quick.
You gotta play that.
We
again.
really hope he's well.
Let's do it.
What a shame.
I would play that in my car today. God, that is. Please, you're getting a 3
One more time, okay.
Let's do it.
Boy. We are powerful late, so I'm going to have to table a few tapes. Tomorrow we'll play the huge anus.
Yes.
Tomorrow I will tell you how Kathy Lee and Hoda groom themselves.
It's
a little more graphic than you think. And also David Hasselhoff singing again at the Great Wall, the Berlin Wall. So lots of great
Berlin
stuff.
Wall.
Make sure you join us tomorrow.
Very
But I will
good.
close. The Simpsons continue to get great gets. Last night, you know, had a key part with Janet Reno.
I saw this.
Really?
Janet Reno did her own voice work. She sounded great.
She's still alive.
Pretty funny, too.
And they did a student council to find whether or not Bart was guilty.
Okay.
And Janet Reno was the judge, and this is that clip.
Youth court is now in session. God, I love gaveling. Principal Skinner, are you wearing hard sole shoes on this gym floor?
No, ma'am. Sneakers.
You're wearing sneakers to a trial?
Oh, God. The press is going to have a field day with this.
Yay, field day! I can go cuckoo and no one can stop me.
That's exactly what George W. Bush said when he was inaugurated. People don't remember that.
That, Mike, that is your magic audio ball.
We'll take a break, come back with Buzz and News. You're listening to The Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to The Mike O'Mara Show. Without further ado, let's get right to it. Here's a man who was giving Irish toast at Jimmy's over the weekend.
Can you believe it?
Actually, stood in for me with the Irish toast, and I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
And I would have loved to hear those filthy limericks.
Did you wear green, Buzz?
Yes, I did. As a
I
matter
was
of
thinking
fact.
he would be all in black so women would pinch him.
I'm wearing my green shoes today in honor of St. Patty's Day.
Nicely
I'm wearing
done.
a green sweatshirt.
That's
yeah.
good. Let's get right to it. Take it away, Buzz.
Downsizing. Thank you, Mike. We're brought to you today by the Mike O'Mara Show's Amazon page. Bookmark us for all your shopping at home and at work. MikeO'MaraShow.com takes you directly to your account, and we get the credit. You're saving money and supporting the show when you shop at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. Now imagine waking up tomorrow morning to find that your government had taken 6% of your money out of your bank to bail itself out. That's exactly what happened in the tiny country of Cyprus, and that sent shockwaves around the world. And it raised the question, could it happen in other countries? If it were to happen in, say, Spain, it would have a huge impact in this country. Our own stock market, meaning your 401k, took a hit this morning just on this news about little Cyprus.
Where is Cyprus? Is that near Greece?
The Greek
Yep.
islands,
Okay.
yeah.
Greek Isles.
Now, at last check, the Cyprus government was pulling back from its plan because of the naturally harsh reactions to it. It's another reminder of just how fragile our economy and the world's economy really is.
Molly Cyprus, Billy Ray Cyprus, they all come from there.
The Cypresses frustrate me with their white sneakers and their mullets.
You don't care for that?
The Cypriots.
I like their gardens. Here in Washington,
It's all about the water skiing.
that's right.
That's a Cypress Gardens joke. Fresh out of the Merv Griffin show.
Welcome. And now, here in Washington, Republican Congressman Paul Ryan is moving full speed ahead on his plan to dump Obamacare, even though Americans favor what it does, even though it's been given a green light by the Supreme Court, and even though 18 Republican states have begun to adopt it after saying they wouldn't. Ryan says we have to dump Obamacare to balance the budget, even though out-of-control health care costs are wounding our economy. Now, Ryan's proposed budget plan would scrap Obamacare and replace Medicare with a voucher system.
He's a stain.
Look, they just had their big conference.
Right.
I try to stay out of the fray. But hey, CPAC.
Yeah.
You're trotting out Sarah Palin.
It was a handsome group of folks,
You're
wasn't it?
trotting out the woman who has
Right.
been already established.
Right.
As a moron.
nut job.
I mean, and
Yeah.
she's one of your headliners. Your whole focus, at least this is what I got from reading the news
Right.
stories about it, was how to get back into power,
Right.
how to regain, how to win elections, and you're doing the same crap because you're still, as Bill Maher says, you're in your bubble. I
Right.
believe that.
They trot her out. She's one of the reasons why they can't win.
Right.
Because they brought her
Right,
out in the
that's
first
true.
place. And then
and she drinks her big gulp on stage.
yeah,
yuckity yuck.
she
yuck,
comes
yuck.
out and she's Toady field. She doesn't do anything to advance their cause.
No.
She just tells bad jokes.
It's frustrating, if you really want to be taken seriously, but they're not. And that wing of the party, you take one of your rising stars, the guy that Rob loves, Chris Christie, you don't invite him, even though he is a card-carrying Republican.
Absolutely.
And you want to get back on track. If you want to get back on track, you have to tap in to the real attitudes of the American people, and they're not. You're too radical.
The Conservative Caucus, and that's the group holding back the change.
Right.
But mainstream Republicans also know they have to change. Many of them know this clearly. The new head of the party's national committee, the Republican National Committee, is out with a list of 10 changes that include reaching out to minorities, harsher criticism of Democratic candidates, better social networking, that makes sense, shortening the primary season, and allowing for fewer debates between Republican candidates so Republicans don't appear to be attacking each other so much as they did in this last election.
Yeah, you want to get elected, why discuss the issues?
That's right. And the to-do list also includes, I'm serious about this, one of the 10 items, not being afraid to appear on Jon Stewart's The Daily Show.
That's
they're gonna, you know what? They're going to have to screw up for one more cycle, then they'll start embracing Chris Christie.
I realize that there are extremists on both ends. There really are. There are people that will never like anything the Republicans have to say, and there are people that will never like anything the Democrats. But the last time I checked, we don't have a big conference called Liberal PAC.
No.
That's right.
We don't.
We don't.
I mean, that's just not what
There's
happens.
a conservative PAC, but not a liberal
because
PAC.
they demonize the word liberal, and I use it. I'm a liberal.
You use it liberally.
I'm a liberal politically. Criminal justice, I'm probably conservative. But on many issues, I'm liberal. But these people, like Sarah Palin, if you want to get elected, you're bringing out the
extremes.
The dumb lady. I mean, really, give me. I just don't. It doesn't make sense.
What it is she is the big one of the the ones that they chose to. I think Chris Christie is probably the most dominant person, or I'm sorry, dynamic person they could have brought out. But he's dangerous. She's safe. She's stupid, and she can tell jokes. So bring her out.
It's simple.
Really, if they want to get elected, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me.
No. And after 10 years of unconstitutional surveillance by the FBI, a federal judge has finally put a stop to it. The judge has taken away from the Bureau a tool that allows it to bypass the normal subpoena process with something called a national security letter. These letters issued by the FBI allowed the agency to look into people's communications through their internet service providers and phone companies over the last 10 years. The FBI has issued 50,000 such letters a year since 9/11. It made over 16,000 requests for information on more than 7,000 American citizens. After our guests, moving on, after our guests on Friday's show, we're especially attentive today to those who would kill or try to kill police officers. Here are 3 items I found this morning, and I didn't go looking for them. The police chief in Daytona, Florida, was spat upon, bitten, and injured further by a murder suspect who says it's, quote, his constitutional right to kill any cop that he thought was bad. In Fullerton, California, an officer has survived multiple gunshots from a semi-automatic handgun thanks to the officer's bulletproof vest. The officer was, of course, still injured and is in stable condition. This happened during a routine traffic stop. And in Pittsburgh, an officer was wounded in both legs, also during a routine traffic stop.
That's the thing we were talking to Meg about on Friday's show. They never know. They never know.
Here's some moral questions for you. Most of us probably agree that people with medical conditions have rights, but we also know that these conditions can make us uncomfortable. Sometimes these two ideas collide. In Michigan, there's a controversy over a family being asked to leave a buffet-style restaurant because the family's rare skin disorder made management and some customers uneasy. The children in that family have epidermolysis bullosa, which causes...
Hey, this is Eric Ronick from Black Gold.
He does.
No, he's very healthy.
He does have some psoriasis, though.
Epidermolysis bullosa causes blisters on the skin from the slightest touch.
Mom, is this calamari?
Oh.
The restaurant manager described it as scabs. The Golden Corral in Westland, Michigan says it had to think of the rest of the customers. The family says the restaurant has violated the Americans with Disabilities Act for asking them to leave.
The weird thing is Golden Corral actually has 3 recipes that use scabs. So I don't know why they would be so upset.
All right, real quick, because Buzz is running out of time here. Really quick, where do you line up on that one?
That's tough. It makes they have a right to dine.
They do.
They do. That's the bottom line.
They ultimately
do. They have a right to dine.
It's frustrating, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Eat where you want.
Yeah,
it's just so sad. I feel for the family.
You got to make sure they don't slough off into the bread pudding.
Oh, Jesus. What is your real feeling on it?
I think they should be allowed to eat there.
Okay, very
and
good.
finally,
because I'm not going to be at Golden Corral.
Finally, I have But you won't be invited. I have fond memories of riding Greyhound buses as a kid. But that was a
I read this over the weekend.
Back in the day. That was a long time ago.
So
Things have
nasty.
changed, and I have a feeling that Greyhound buses may be not as pleasant as they once were.
This is so nasty.
In New Jersey on Friday morning, passengers freaked out to find that their bus was, not just a few, overrun by cockroaches.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Quoting one passenger, roaches started crawling up our clothes, falling from the ceiling.
Oh.
It turned out to be a whole house full of roaches.
Boo.
The panic that ensued, the panic prompted the driver to pull over and put in an emergency call for a new roach-free bus.
Jesus.
The passengers each got a refund, and Greyhound is investigating the cause of the roach.
nasty.
I'm Buzz Burbank on the Mike O'Mara Show.
That makes you. Yeah, that'll make you crawl.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Buzz. Our show today brought to you by Encore Insurance Services, the people who bring you this show every weeknight on WTNT, and a great company to deal with. If you would like to get involved with Encore, all you have to do is go to smartterm.com. Let them give you a free life insurance quote. You will save money, and you should have a life insurance policy. Call 866-347-5748. They will do all the work for you. They'll compare the rates, and they will help you save. Remember, that's licensing and disclaimer info at smartterm.com. Let them know you appreciate them as much as we do. Encore Insurance Services. Didn't get to the Ohio rape case. Want to talk about that. Want to talk about my new likes, conservatives. All tomorrow. We'll see you later. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Ciao.